Why do most people fear being alone? Why does the very idea of solitude send shivers through the modern mind? Even as history is filled with individuals who sought it deliberately, who thrived in it, and who, in its quiet embrace, discovered the depths of human nature. From philosophers to strategists, rulers to rebels, those who dared to step away from the crowd often saw the world more clearly, understood people more profoundly, and acted with an intelligence that eluded the masses. And yet, society has always whispered, often loudly, that being alone is a weakness, a sign of failure, or a mark of loneliness. We are told that isolation is a curse rather than a tool, that the measure of a person is found in their social connections, not in their thoughts. But what if this fear, this discomfort, is precisely what the world wants? What if avoiding solitude is how we are trained to remain predictable, controllable, and bound by collective illusions? Machiavelli, the strategist who dissected the anatomy of power with surgical precision, offers an unsettling answer. Solitude is not loneliness. It is a weapon. To be alone is to see the currents beneath human behavior, to understand manipulation, ambition, and deceit, and to prepare oneself for the reality that most refuse to acknowledge. Being alone is not a failure. It is a choice, a strategy, a path toward clarity in a world built to cloud our minds. Throughout history, those who achieved greatness often did so in moments of profound solitude. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, retreated into the quiet of his thoughts, recording meditations that revealed a mind both disciplined and free. Nietzsche wandered alone across Europe, facing the harshness of the world and the vastness of his own consciousness, crafting philosophies that continue to unsettle and enlighten. Even Machiavelli himself, navigating the treacherous streets of Renaissance Italy, spent long hours in relative isolation, observing power, betrayal, and ambition from a distance. Society, in every age, has placed pressure on individuals to conform, to participate, to follow. But these quiet thinkers, these observers of the human condition, understood something the masses rarely do. Clarity is born in separation, away from crowds, applause, and distraction. They could analyze motives, anticipate deceit, and cultivate judgment unclouded by social pressures. Solitude offered them a lens through which they could see the mechanics of power and the patterns of human behavior. Yet, paradoxically, isolation was often stigmatized. The lone thinker was labeled eccentric, antisocial, or even dangerous. History tells us that societies fear those who step away because they cannot be easily controlled. The very act of being alone becomes an act of rebellion, a refusal to bow to convention. In solitude, these individuals discovered not loneliness, but insight. They found a vantage point that allowed them to understand the world with a clarity that crowds and comfort could never provide. Alone, they were free, and in that freedom, they became powerful. Machiavelli lived in a world defined by chaos, betrayal, and shifting alliances. Florence, in the Renaissance, was a battlefield of intrigue, where fortunes rose and fell, not through strength or virtue, but through cunning and foresight. In this maelstrom, Machiavelli discovered a truth that many still fail to grasp. To navigate power, one must first understand it, and understanding requires distance. Solitude was not a retreat from life, was a lens through which life's patterns could be observed clearly, without the distortions of emotion, loyalty, or the expectations of others. In the Prince and Discourses on Livy, Machiavelli repeatedly emphasizes the importance of perception, strategy, and the careful observation of human behavior. He shows that crowds are often blinded by fear, desire, and false morality, while the solitary mind can dissect motives and predict actions. To be alone is to escape the comforting illusions of society, to face the world as it truly is, rather than as we wish it to be. Those who remain tied to social approval are vulnerable. They act reactively, guided by opinion rather than principle. Those who cultivate strategic isolation, by contrast, see clearly, plan deliberately, and act decisively. Machiavelli's own life exemplifies this philosophy. Rejected, exiled, and overlooked, he spent years observing Florence's political theater from the shadows, taking meticulous notes on human ambition and deception. In his solitude, he honed the ability to anticipate betrayal, recognize hypocrisy, and identify opportunity where others saw only chaos. Solitude, in Machiavelli's framework, is not punishment or loneliness, it is preparation. It is the silent forge where the mind sharpens itself, the quiet arena where strategy, judgment, and power are refined. To be alone is not to be weak. It is to be equipped, enlightened, and capable of seeing the world as it truly is. Being alone is often feared, yet psychology reveals that solitude is a vital tool for self-awareness, clarity, and intellectual growth. Humans are social creatures, yes, but constant interaction comes at a cost. The pressure to conform, to appease, and to seek approval creates mental noise. Cognitive biases, confirmation bias, groupthink, herd mentality thrive in social settings. The mind that never experiences solitude is rarely tested, rarely challenged, and often remains shallow in its understanding of both itself and the world. Solitude forces the mind to confront reality without distraction. It is a mirror reflecting one's fears, desires, and illusions. In quiet isolation, patterns emerge. The manipulations of others, the true motives behind actions, and the unspoken rules of society. Intentional solitude strengthens critical thinking, emotional regulation, and creativity, giving individuals the mental space to synthesize complex ideas and recognize truths hidden from the distracted crowd. This is why discomfort accompanies solitude. The unease of being alone is not a sign of weakness. It is the mind facing itself, stripped of social masks and external validation. Those who embrace this discomfort learn to think deeply, to act intentionally, and to see through deception. Strategic isolation, as Machiavelli understood, is not mere retreat, it is preparation for engagement with the world, a way to anticipate the behaviors of others, and a shield against manipulation. Modern psychology confirms what the great thinkers of history intuited. Time alone fosters resilience, insight, and autonomy. To avoid solitude is to surrender to the noise of society, to live a life directed by others rather than by one's own reason. In solitude, we are confronted not by emptiness, but by possibility, the possibility of becoming the observer, the strategist, and the architect of our own minds in today's world. Solitude is almost a radical act. We are constantly connected. Notifications, messages, social media, and endless streams of content demand our attention, fragment our focus, and shape our thoughts. Society tells us that visibility equals value, that popularity equals success, and that being alone is abnormal, even dangerous. In this hyper-connected environment, independent thought is rare, and critical observation becomes a quiet rebellion. Machiavelli's lessons remain eerily relevant. The masses, distracted and influenced by appearances, desire comfort and consensus. They follow trends, adopt opinions without reflection, and rarely question the motives of those in power. Those who step back, who choose to observe from a distance, gain a perspective unavailable to the crowd. Solitude is not withdrawal from society. It is a strategic vantage point. It allows the individual to see the underlying forces, patterns of manipulation, and hidden motives that guide human behavior. Modern examples abound. Thinkers, innovators, and strategists who spend time removed from the constant chatter of social approval often achieve breakthroughs unnoticed by the distracted majority. Meanwhile, those who chase approval are easily influenced, predictable, and constrained by collective illusions. Solitude, in this context, is not merely a personal choice, it is a form of resistance. It is the refusal to be governed by opinion rather than reason, to act based on observation rather than imitation. In a society engineered to fear isolation, the solitary thinker stands apart, armed with clarity, independence, and insight. Solitude is no longer just a refuge. It is a necessity for anyone who seeks to understand the world as it truly is. Embracing solitude is not about retreating from life or shunning human connection entirely. It is about choosing isolation deliberately, using it as a tool to sharpen the mind and deepen understanding. The first step is intentional separation. Set aside time to be alone without distraction. Silence the notifications. Step away from social obligations and create space for reflection. In these moments, the mind begins to untangle itself from the noise of others, revealing patterns, motives, and truths that are invisible in the constant rush of interaction. Observation is key. Solitude is most powerful when paired with careful attention to the world. Watch human behavior, notice inconsistencies, and consider why people act as they do. Keep a journal to document insights, questions, and reflections. Writing thoughts down crystallizes understanding, turning fleeting observations into concrete knowledge. Meditation or mindful reflection strengthens focus, allowing the mind to confront discomfort, analyze motives, and recognize illusions without judgment. It is also crucial to embrace the discomfort of being alone. Many avoid solitude because it exposes them to their fears and insecurities. Yet it is precisely this confrontation that builds resilience, insight, and independence. Solitude trains the mind to think critically, act intentionally, and remain unshaken by the pressures of conformity. Finally, integrate solitude into life strategically. It is not isolation for isolation's sake. It is a preparation for engagement with the world. By cultivating clarity, judgment, and self-awareness in silence, one becomes equipped to navigate society, anticipate deception, and act with foresight. Solitude, when embraced as a deliberate strategy, transforms the mind from reactive to masterful, from distracted to discerning. The truth is unsettling. Most people fear solitude because it reveals what they do not want to see: their own dependence on approval, distraction, and illusion. History, philosophy, and psychology all point to the same conclusion. Being alone is not weakness, nor is it failure. It is a deliberate choice, a strategic act, and a path to clarity. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He knew that those who step back from the crowd, who observe, reflect, and think independently, hold a vantage point invisible to the distracted masses. Solitude allows the mind to untangle the lies, deceptions, and illusions that society constantly imposes. It transforms discomfort into insight, fear into understanding, and isolation into freedom. Those who embrace it can see the currents beneath human behavior, anticipate manipulation, and act with intentionality rather than impulse. In a world where the crowd governs thought and conformity dictates action. The solitary thinker becomes both observer and strategist, equipped to navigate reality with precision. Yet solitude is not merely intellectual. It is an invitation to confront the self fully, to wrestle with the shadows of desire, fear, and ego. It is in these quiet moments that wisdom grows, character strengthens, and perspective sharpens. So, ask yourself, if you feel uneasy being alone, what is it that you have yet to face? If you dare to embrace solitude, you are not withdrawing from the world. You are stepping into a place of power, clarity, and mastery. In the silence, you discover the most important ally you will ever have, your own mind.